Baseball tonight, post-game show, preview show, look ahead to tomorrow's show. With Reynolds, I'm Karl Ravech. Back out to Oakland, get some reaction from some of the players and what happened. But mission accomplished, certainly for the Oakland A's, Harold. They wanted to take both at home. They've done that. Joe Morgan just talked on how difficult it is to win in Boston. But you get these two, you certainly feel good about that flight.
Oh, no doubt about it. But the pain for Boston is going to be that game last night when you're leading in the ninth. And now you've got to go back with the thought of who's our closer. That whole subject's going to come back up again. And I think that's going to be the topic of conversation out there in Boston when people start talking about what's wrong with the Red Sox.
For those getting home, not seeing much of the game, let's go over exactly how things played out. The Red Sox sent Tim Wakefield to the mound. He had been terrible in his LDS appearances, 0-2 with a 15.58 ERA. Good ballpark. Goal is to get them to hit high flies. So they didn't hit much early because nobody could get it. And then when they did, Hernandez, who was the hero last night, goes the other way into right. It was a bunt last night, a little single, and Oakland's right up 1-0. Jermaine Dye came up, he got hit. This can happen with a knuckleballer, right?
That's the one thing you're going to have trouble with when it's a knuckleballer, the consistency. Right here, Burns, he hops on a high knuckleball. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Manny Ramirez never looked comfortable in his 2 games in left field at this stadium. Hernandez and Dye come in to score. A double scores 2-3-0 A's. Manny never looked comfortable at the plate so far. Next up, Mark Ellis. And at this point, Wakefield can't find the zone. Ball 4, so men are at first and second. 2 batters later, second and third. 2-out hit. Eric Chavez. The Walker had it and then messed it up.
And that was a big play right there because it's only 3-0 at that time. Now it goes to 5. Tough to pick up that slack right there, but just see him throw the ball away, and what can you say?
Well, you can say that he
for itself.
Hasn't been a good fielder this season. Second of AL second baseman with 16 errors. There's a hit. Barry Zito, Johnny Damon. Burns can't get it. Mirabelli scores. It's a ground rule double. Boston's on the board at 5-1. But unlike last night when they had double digits hits, they couldn't come through at all. Manny Ramirez, at this point, 0 for the series and leaving 7 men on base. David Ortiz in the 4th, 0 for the series.
Zito was the difference in this ball game. He had that breaking ball working, and I mean, he froze every hitter 1 through 9 in this lineup.
Gabe Kapler can't get it done. Mirabelli strike 3. Joe Morgan called it what the yellow, what do you call it? The yellow
hammer.
The yellow hammer. He threw the hammer down with that curveball. Nobody could figure out when it was coming, and once they figured it out, he threw a fastball by him. Todd Walker denied. Zito, as good a game as we've seen him pitch in a while. No outs, ahead 1-2.
Well, Karl, the difference was his curveball, and you're right. 1-2 again, 1-2 again. Early in the season, he was showing that breaking ball early in the counts, and I think hitters got used to it. Today, he threw it late in counts.
7 innings in earned, 9 Ks, 5 hits. Keith Foulke, who threw 3 innings in that game 1 win, returns, and he gets the out. Harold will talk about the fact that Foulke came back. He asked back, said he was available, and Ken Mackey used him. The A's 5, the Red Sox 1. So Zito, who actually left the game early last night, got himself a good night rest. He was dynamite in this thing. And Oakland, of course, has been in this situation before. They took the first 2 of that 2001 division series against the Yankees. They lost the final 3. But Zito, outstanding. The story in this one is the Red Sox muster only 6 hits, and he's got 20 hits in 2 games with very quiet offense for the team that was so dynamic during the season. The 5 through 9 hitters for Boston didn't show up. An 0.67 average. Ortiz neutralized. Manny Ramirez, 1 hit in the series so far. None of them have stepped up, but there must have been a game plan for Barry. What was it?
Yeah, I think the key, you're right, Karl. What was it? It was to get certain guys out. People talk about experience in the postseason. Well, having been there, you understand the importance of executing your game plan and not getting away from it, not panicking. And that's what Barry Zito did. He didn't have his great stuff early, but there was 2 guys in the lineup. He said, they're not going to beat me. David Ortiz hitting after Manny, and Todd Walker, who was hitting after Nomar. I'm still wondering why was the lineup set the way it was, with Walker hitting 3rd and Ortiz hitting 5th. You took the bat totally out of Nomar's hand in the 2 spot and Manny's hands in the 4th spot, because those are the guys that Zito said, okay, fine, I'll let Nomar walk on a 3-1 changeup, no problem. I'll go get Todd Walker. Manny Ramirez, I'll try to cut the ball, make him chase something, because I'm going after David Ortiz. He executed his game plan, and that comes from experience. I think he's learned a lot, having been in the postseason already, not to deviate from his plan, and today it worked.
There has been nothing demoralizing that the Red Sox have said, you know what, we can't do it. Now you go back to Boston with a Ted Lilly, who's another lefty on the mound, and Derek Lowe, for an offense that put up record numbers of runs, slugging percentage like the 27 Yankees. Is there discussion amongst themselves, or do they just throw it out the window?
No, they're going to discuss it, no doubt. I mean, they'll throw it out the window mentally, but they'll discuss on the plane how they want to get back to Fenway and get back to those good approaches. Look, the Red Sox got here with offense, and if they're going to win, it's going to have to be their offense. They're going back to their comfort zone of Fenway. There were some balls hit in Oakland that would have been bouncing off the wall. I think they got a lot of left-handers with that approach to hit the ball the other way. It is a team tailored for Fenway Park, and that's where they're headed back to, so that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to hit their way through there.
They hit some 50 points higher at home. You don't expect Manny and David Ortiz to be a combined 1 for 17 so far in the series, which is what they are. As far as Wakefield goes, though, the bullpen got used last night. You figure he can give you innings as long as he can get that ball over the plate. His problem was what, Harold? He got it up?
He got the ball up. And when you get that knuckleball up, first he had trouble controlling it. And right here you see the wild pitch or pass ball, however way you want to look at that with the knuckleballer. And that forces him not to throw that hard knuckler. And now when you hang a knuckleball, that's what's going to happen. The result is going to be a base hit, or hitters are going to look for a ball up. Because once a knuckleball starts at the waist, it is going to shoot down almost like a splitter. So you want to make this guy get the ball up, and that's exactly what happened today. It wasn't necessarily the patience of the Oakland hitters as much as it was Wakefield struggling to control his knuckleball early in the game, and then he had to go ahead and just rely on an easy, soft knuckleball that he hung, and they hammered it.
In the second inning, obviously, just 2 hits for the A's, but they scored 5 runs. When you're facing a team like Oakland with the starting pitching that they have, you cannot afford, especially if your team's not hitting, to make mistakes. Boston has not played well in the field.
Well, they haven't played well in the field, and that's really what you're going to get. You got an offensive team. Sometimes you're going to give away the defense for the offense. Manny Ramirez looked like a couple balls he misplayed out there. I thought the Todd Walker play was huge because that's a 3-0 ball game right there. And with that offense, you still feel like you got a chance to get into it. All of a sudden now the game goes to 5-1. You're looking at a grand slam to tie that ball game up, and it becomes a very difficult proposition, especially with the way Zito was throwing. And Karl, 5 through 9 in their order were 1 for 15 with 7 Ks, with 9 Ks. I mean, that's tough.
And this is a 1 through 9 lineup as far as their ability to hit, but not in this one, and so far not in this series. Now the scene does shift, obviously. The 2 teams go to Boston. They have an off day. They'll play Saturday. You'll be able to see that on ESPN's family of networks. It's Ted Lilly against Derek Lowe. Now, we have also seen Ted Lilly seem to go to another level recently.
Well, he eliminated throwing the curveball. And what Ted Lilly is doing now is he's throwing strictly a cutter and a fastball. And that allows him to have his mechanics more together and to be more consistent with his pitches. And that's why in the last 6 outings, he's throwing the ball pretty good.
That game is 7:30 Eastern time on Saturday, folks. Baseball tonight will show up around noon on Saturday as a pregame to the 2 games which begin at 1 o'clock. Speaking of the other games, we'll talk about those also. Much more on this Boston-Oakland game. We'll go back to hear from John Miller and Joe Morgan. Also Eric Burns as the A's have a commanding 2-zip lead.
KFC's popcorn chicken is back, and it's bigger and better than ever. Big, juicy pieces of all-white breast meat, now with fewer crumbs. Get a party size for just $6.99 or an individual size for just $1.99. New, bigger, better popcorn chicken, only from KFC. Create and direct your own TV commercials. Visit KFC.com.
Mike, Sue?
Yes.
Love and honor?
Yep.
Sickness, health?
Uh-huh.
Objections? Rings? Do you?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
Kiss? husband and wife. Next.
How dare you to let anyone get close to you? Dare.
Head & Shoulders Shampoo. It goes directly to the scalp to help stop flakes before they start and conditions better for hair that looks and feels beautiful.
Do you dare?
Head & Shoulders Shampoo. Unbeatable daily dandruff protection. Unbelievably beautiful hair. Also try Head & Shoulders Dandruff Conditioner.
2 more steps, guys. We've been to the video store and the dry cleaner. I think we've been in the car all day.
Hard-working engines need a hard-working oil. Introducing Pennzoil's SUV, truck, and minivan motor oil. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
When you want to get something done out here, you got to do it yourself. Let's say you got some tonnage to move. Show 'em, boys. Hey, life's great out here when you get it done yourself.
Pretty straightforward game. Great starting pitching from Oakland. Very good relief work. Keith Foulke, who threw 3 innings last night, came in to get the final out. No threat, no extra innings, no problem. A's beat the Red Sox 5-1 after the game. Dave Ryan spoke with the A's closer, Keith Foulke.
Keith Foulke, 51 pitches in Game 1 last night, but Ken Mock, I talked to you before the game during batting practice. What did you guys talk about? I guess your arm's okay.
Yeah, obviously the manager's job is to ask the player, how he feels, and I kind of looked at him, laughed a little bit, and told him, hey, it's the playoffs. You got to feel good every day. So, you got to be ready for your team.
So 2 appearances already, or 50-plus pitches. You're going to be okay for Game 3 in Boston coming up.
Oh yeah, tomorrow will be a nice day off, and do a little sightseeing. We got a little workout, ride the bike for a little bit, and I'll be ready for Saturday.
From the bullpen, the clubhouse TV, you probably had a chance to watch Barry Zito on the mound today. What made him so effective against Boston?
Oh, he had a great curveball today, and when Barry's on, he keeps guys off balance. It's you get guy looking curveball, then he starts blowing fastballs by him, and vice versa. They start looking for fastball, and he rolls the curveball in there, and he just kept him guessing all day.
You guys did an amazing job of overcoming confidence and so much emotion of that first game to be level-headed for Game 2. Can you overcome overconfidence maybe in Game 3 now with a 2-0 lead? What happens there?
I don't know. We'll find out on Saturday, but definitely proud of the team. Late night, you had to go home and pack. We bounced back today, came out. That's A's baseball right there today.
Keith Foulke and the A's, a 2-0 lead on Boston. 1 game away from the ALCS. Let's go back to you.
Dave, thank you. Last night, Durazo, one of Billy Bean's acquisitions, they got rid of Billy Koch, bring in Keith Foulke, who's been effective. And you talked about Dontrell Willis and showing back. Well, they show Keith Foulke that he can get these guys out no matter what the situation.
Well, you can just tell with the conversation with Dave Ryan right there, the demeanor of Keith Foulke, and that is the more important than anything else with a closer. Obviously, you got to have great stuff. Don't discount that. But you also have to have the demeanor that if I miss the guy's spot and he gets a hit on me, I'm still going to get him out. We talk about the heart of John Smoltz. Well, this guy, Keith Foulke, to come back after last night's game and throw as many pitches as he did and come back today, the man's got a rubber arm. I mean, he is the perfect guy in this situation. Why can he come back? Because he's a guy who throws a fastball and a changeup. He doesn't have a big trick pitch. He'll throw a slider and a split occasionally, but those are not his big out pitches. He uses that changeup, and that does not put a major strain on your arm. So he's the type of guy that can bounce back and be rejuvenated, and after throwing 40-some pitches the night before, less than 12 hours, turn around and come back and pitch another game.
No question about it. Once again, 7 o'clock here in the East. The Red Sox, who actually lost the game around 2:45 in the morning, have now lost the second game, so they're down to Oakland 2-0. This is Harold Reynolds. I'm Karl Ravech. The other thing is you discuss Keith Foulke. You watch him. He hides the ball really well because when you see that slow-mo, it looks like it would be very easy to pick up his changeup. His fingers are off. but he hides it, same as a fastball. It makes it tough, doesn't it?
It does, and the main thing with the changeup and the fastball is the arm action. But if you can hide that ball as long as he hides it, and then all of a sudden it pops on you, it's very difficult to pick up.
Very different game for those who didn't see Game 1. This one was fairly straightforward. The Red Sox didn't need to get deep into their bullpen. They used Williamson. They didn't have to worry about a closer. But if this does go back to Fenway, if the Red Sox need to use a closer in Game 3, who do you think they're going to pick?
That's exactly it. They're reaching into the hat, and they're going to pick whoever they feel like. You know, you look back to the game last night where Derek Lowe ended up pitching the 11th and 12th innings of that ball game. They had Bin-Young Kim in to close the game out. He wasn't able to do it. They took him out after he hit a guy and walked the batter, and you brought in the left-hander Alan Embry. I think it's after Pedro Martinez had thrown 130 pitches, Grady Little said, there's no time to worry about people's feelings. I'm getting whoever I think can get out and match up. And that's what he did. And, you know, sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it's not. Last night it did not. Now, early in the year, I was very critical. You got to identify a closer, and I think you should. But this time of year, it's who's throwing best for you, who's going to get guys out, and that's what I think he tried to do.
And you can see Kim occasionally on the bench looking around like he doesn't know what his role is. You can't blame Grady, though. In this situation, the margin for error is nil. You can't have a long leash.
Well, no, you can't, and we're going to see that theme throughout the playoffs. I know people are going to come down on the Boston Red Sox, but we're already seeing it in the Florida Marlins, and the fact that Uget Urbina is closing the games out instead of Looper. I mean, Looper was the guy they went to. Now, all of a sudden, he is not the guy. They're going to go to the hot hand in the postseason. That's something to watch from all the managers. This is the time of year they're going to do that.
Here's last night's play, and this was Kim, and he came in the 9th. He had it 2 outs, 2 men on. And this is where Grady Little decides with DeRozzo coming up, we'll go to the lefty.
Well, we don't show the pitches he hit guys with, and that was the signs that what Grady saw. And it's a base hit off of, with the left-hander, DeRozzo getting the base hit off of Alan Embry. Now, earlier in the week, when the Red Sox were going through their stretch to get into the postseason, Embry was the guy that was coming through for Grady Little against the left-handers. So he was trying to go with the hot hand.
And Kim had been effective prior to this. The other good news for Oakland fans, last night we saw Hudson leave. He had some dehydration. He had some thumb work that was needed to be tended to, according to the trainer, Larry Davis. He's perfect today, so that's good news for Tim Hudson. Pedro will likely not be able to pitch until Game 5. With more on Game 2, back to the men who called it. That was, of course, John Miller and Joe Morgan.
Well, if you didn't know better, if you didn't know they were one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball, you would think the Boston Red Sox just couldn't hit. Such was the domination today of Barry Zito of the Oakland Athletics as the Athletics go ahead 2-0, Joe.
Well, John, I didn't expect them to be shut down today, but Barry Zito had a great curveball today. He had a good fastball. He had a changeup, and he had great location with all of his pitches. And when he's doing that, he's Cy Young Award winner last year. That's how he pitched last year.
Well, the Athletics had 5 runs in the second inning, all of their runs in one horrible inning for Tim Wakefield. They had only 2 hits in that inning, including the big one, the backbreaker, a 2-run double by Eric Burns, who chatted with Dave Ryan after the game.
Oakland A's outfielder Eric Burns, your first career playoff hit. Could it come at a better time, part of that big 5-run second inning? Is this team so confident you can keep rolling into Game 3 of this series?
Yeah, you know what? I think we are. It's one of those things where we know how good the Red Sox are, but we kind of figured that if we go out and play our game, I mean, there's a reason why we won 96 games this year. So we're just having fun out here and really enjoying ourselves.
The emotions of Game 1 were incredible on this field. It's almost like winning a World Series, but you bounced back so well in Game 2. How'd you keep all those emotions in check in this game today against the Red Sox?
I don't think anyone got a whole lot of sleep. You know, we had pretty much had enough time to get home and put our head on a pillow, and we were right back at it. So, you know, these playoffs, if you can't get up for a Major League playoff game, something's wrong with you. But like I said before, this team's just such a high-energy group, and we really have a lot of fun out here, and that's the greatest part about playing for the A's.
Eric's Boston's Game 3 starter is going to be Derek Lowe. You guys saw him last night in Game 1 with 42 pitches. Does that give you an advantage for Game 3?
I don't know about that. You know, Lowe's so good, and if he has that sinker working, he's real tough to hit. You know, I got my first look at him last night, and it seems like that thing's just dropping off the table. So we're going to have our hands full for the next couple games in Boston, but you know, if we go out there and play our game, I think we'll be all right.
Have a good trip out east. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Eric Burns of the A's, 2-0 lead in the Red Sox, 1 game away from the ALCS.
So the Oakland Coliseum was a house of lost opportunity, and then today a chamber of horrors, especially in that second inning for the Red Sox. But now they're going home to Fenway Park, Joe, and their 17-game winner, Derek Lowe. And Oakland no longer with Mark Mulder. He's on the DL up instead against Ted Lilly.
Well, I think Derek Lowe is the guy that's pitched very, very well in Boston. They've hit well in Boston. I mean, there's no place for them to go. They have to go home, and decide that this is what we have to do. We're going to hit. We're not going to worry about anything else. We're just going to go and hit and be the Boston Red Sox that we were most of the season.
Are the Red Sox dead?
No, definitely not. I don't think so.
All right. One win is all that Oakland needs. They'll try and get it in Boston starting Saturday night. From the Coliseum, where the A's won 5-1 today, I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Let's go back to the studio.
John, thank you. Since '69, Harold, 42 teams have gone up 2-0 in a best-of-5. 36 have won the series, and 27 of those 42 have swept the series, which is good news for Oakland. Oakland's offense, unlike Boston's, has not been run them over. It's been sort of a just-enough offense, and they had just enough last night. They had probably a little more than they needed today.
Well, they did, and they got Barry Zito some runs early. I didn't think Oakland's offense could swing the bat. They struggled most of the season long. They have put together the element of surprise. The big bunt last night from Hernandez. They're taking the ball the other way. They're basically playing a little hit-and-run type of baseball and taking what the Boston pitching staff has given them. Whether it's a sinker away, they're taking it to right. They're going to bunt men over. They're doing all kinds of things to cause havoc, and it's paying off, and that's how you win ball games in the postseason.
Burns today, Hernandez, of course, Durazo. I mean, one of their big bats, like Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. Eric Chavez has struggled. He is 0 for 10 in this series. Rough start for Grady Little. He's now 0-2 as a manager in postseason play. Ken Maka on the other side, of course, is 2-0. He's gotten the timely hitting, and he's gotten some very good pitching.
You know, Barry's got the ability to do that, you know, and Tim does also. But those guys still had great at-bats. You look at it, and they put the pressure on both Tim and Barry, and it's reflected in their pitch counts. Barry was about 110 in 7 innings, so they made him work for every out. Extremely dangerous lineup, and you know, led the league in hitting. And you got to make your pitches, and they're going to make you throw strikes. So in order to, you know, pitch 7 strong innings, only give up 1 run, that's a great job against that lineup.
He was also asked, why do you go back to Keith Foulke? His answer was simple, and it made a lot of sense. He said, Foulke told me I was available. He's my best pitcher. You know?
So you use it.
So you use him. One other note, too, that we should all be looking to for every series, the team that has committed the fewer errors in the game is 5-1, which makes a lot of sense. You commit fewer errors, you win, and it's bared out with a 5-1 record in the 6 games so far. Barry Zito, outstanding. He's helped the A's get to a 2-zip lead. Let's hear from the A's lefty.
I knew that was a big pitch for me in the game, and I knew when it came eventually that it would help me out. And you know, eventually I kind of gave myself time to get a grip on it and got the seam real good under my finger, and, you know, then it was breaking.
You were throwing the curve 2-3 times in a row there, some of the big targets. Was that the plan going in, because it was working so well?
Was your plan going in to throw a curveball 2 or 3 times in a row that are big hitters, or was it just because it was working well?
No, the plan going in is basically adjust to the hand that you're dealt when you're out there, you know, and if you go out in the game and you don't have your changeup and your fastball command's real good, then, you know, you kind of change accordingly. So there was never a plan to just, you know, throw curveballs to everybody. But, you know, when it's working pretty good, you know, it's hard to get away from it, because, you know, you'd second guess yourself and say, well, I don't know why I didn't throw my curveball right there. It was pretty good today, you know.
Over here.
Barry, did you get a sense that their strategy of going left, right may have worked against you a little bit? And it may have given you an opportunity to kind of choose which batters to work to?
Did their strategy of going left, right backfire for them and help you?
You know, I didn't even notice it was left, right until you said it. I mean, I just knew that there was 3 lefties in the lineup today, and you know, they had said they're going to play their lefties, so you know, I just kind of pitch accordingly, I think, to every hitter. And, you know, their left-handed hitters are great. I mean, you know, and they got that lineup, which is a little different. They got Walker hitting 3rd now from the last time I faced them. But, you know, Ortiz is very dangerous, Walker, and also Johnny. You know, Johnny played with us, so I know what he can do. So, you know, I just kind of pitched to each hitter individually, I think.
Question here. Did you change at all after 3rd inning?
Yeah, you know, when you have 5 runs, you kind of, you know, half of you wants to go, okay, just make your pitches get ahead, you know, but then the other half says, no, this is still a playoff game. This is still a dangerous lineup. You don't want to give them any leeway to just, you know, 2-0, throw a ball down the middle, you know, just to not walk him. I think you have to pitch the same. And I think, you know, I had fell into that trap for a couple hitters, and then I, you know, got back on track after that.
Peter?
It's a tough day. The Red Sox actually lose twice on the anniversary of Bucky Dent's home run.